All right, hi everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is Kiana Prema, and I'm super excited to have you all here for our Business Success Book Circle. This is the month of March, and we are going over Get Over Your Damn Self by Romi Neustadt. This is an awesome, awesome book, the no BS blueprint to building a life-changing business. I have to tell you that this is probably my newest favorite training when it comes to network marketing, diving into what she is sharing here. So super excited. This is week 1. We're covering 4 chapters a week in this book circle. So this is our Tuesday circle and covering chapters 1 through 4, which are awesome foundational chapters, really kind of setting the foundation for business here. And the format really is just to allow us all to kind of have your check-in, have your share some of your nuggets of what you're taking away from what you've read, with the idea that studying this together, sharing this together, practicing to get this together, that we're really integrating and implementing this into our business so that we can all see some massive growth, so we can all see some massive up-leveling in what it is that we're creating as we're moving into this awesome time to be in this business, right? Spring into summer, we see a lot of growth. Of course, we've just introduced a brand new product with Recept starting to ship this week. All kinds of really awesome things going. So as we get started here, I'm going to hand it over to Joanne Reese, Triple Diamond with Prime My Body, to let her share kind of her opening reflections on this. And Joanne's at a really amazing event. I'll let her share a little bit where she's at, and then she's going to pop off and go back to that. And I'll stay here with the rest of you, and we're going to let you all pop in and share. So Joanne, I'll hand it over to you, honey. Oh, you're on mute, babe. Hold on one second. I'll get you.
Hi.
Okay. There you go.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share first. Yeah, I'm in Anaheim, California at the Natural Product Show. It's called Expo West. And I've already met 8 people here from Boulder this morning. This is one of the biggest natural product shows in the country, if not the biggest. And last year I was here, and I don't think there were any CBD companies represented here last year. And this year, I think there's over 100. Just to give you an idea about what's happening in the industry. I heard today some stats. So they have an entire day-long event today, all focused on CBD hemp. There's 5 or 6 companies here that are presenting at the event, including Charlotte's Web, Elixinol, Bluebird Botanicals, a bunch of other, all the CEOs, people kind of presenting and just chatting about all aspects of this industry, kind of where we're going. And so I'm live streaming some of it. You guys can check it out on my website. I did a great session this morning. And, basically I'm just learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about what we have, how fortunate we are. And I can tell already that Paul is such a forerunner in terms of what he has brought us with this new product. Everybody here is saying they're full spectrum or broad spectrum, but when you ask them what the primary ingredient in the product is, it's CBD. And I've been looking at certificates of analysis for all these different companies, and they don't have other cannabinoids listed on them with any big numbers. So I'm super excited just to see what we're going to be rolling out. I definitely haven't, everybody's talking about the entourage effect, but nobody's necessarily in the conversations that we're in. So we're way ahead of the game. Yeah, I'm just super excited. So I'm going to jump a little bit into this book. If you don't have a hard copy, I definitely recommend getting it. I listened to the audio off and on for like a year, but I just got my hard copy, and it's helped me tremendously being able to be reviewing specific things that she's saying, because literally every single thing that you need for your business is in this book. I want to just highlight a couple of my big takeaways that I want to just invite everybody into. So you have to get your story down to a minute or 2. She coaches you on this. And your story needs to not be about the product. Your story needs to be about your business, your experience with the company, with the business, with the industry, with the community. So if you're only talking about your experience with the product and not about shifting into trading your time for money into a community-based business, I really invite you to incorporate that. And then your story's separate from your why, right? So your why is for you. It has to be about you, and it's what gets you up every day. It's what fires you up. It's what helps you make daily commitments to yourself. Follow up, calling people every day, following up with people every day. My biggest challenge, frankly, is trying to make 80% of my time about prospecting, because I have a lot of people to support on my team, and I'm a mom and I'm a nurturer and I love helping people. And she says 10% of your time is about training and helping. So what I've done is I turned my Monday welcome call into a group coaching call every week. So every Monday at 11, I'm coaching small groups of people to help people with their why. And, I think we need to constantly be practicing both our why and our story, and to be running it by people in our upline probably to get feedback, so that you're including what you want to include, not including irrelevant details, and really focusing on the hot spots. And of course, you tailor make it every week to the people that you're talking to, so that it's always about them. That's the other big takeaway, is that you got to be focused on the person. So you have to kind of know what their hot spots are, which means you got to ask questions. You got to ask some questions about, where are you in your life? Where are you in your career? Where are you in your community building endeavor? Like what do you have that you want, and what do you don't have that you want? And if I could show you something that would help you to have more of what you want, would you be open to hearing about it? Another big one is she talks about moving from appointment to appointment. So if you talk to somebody, ask them, if I send you this, will you watch it? When will you watch it? And then be quiet and wait for them to give you a date when they're going to watch it. And then you reaffirm. So if I call you on Sunday, you'll have had a chance to watch this. So you have an appointment, you're a professional, you're not just blasting out videos to people and hoping that they watch it, get excited about it, and call you back and say, yes, I want to join your business. I've sent out thousands of video links and not moved from appointment to appointment. And I can tell you what I have is I ran out of data on my phone because I'm clogging my phone up, and I'm not engaging people on some hope and some prayer that they're going to take the ball and run with it. So I really encourage people to incorporate that thing. And let's see, I want to say one more quick thing about trusting in the perfect timing of everything. So yes, you want to cultivate relationships with people. I personally don't want to pitch every single person that I talk to. I want to trust my intuition and my guidance, but I also don't want to be moving from fear and being afraid about not talking to people. So I want to push myself a little bit. I always kind of want to be a little bit on the edge. And I want to practice leading with the business, not with the product. So as you're sharing your story with people, you're sharing your story about why this business model interested you, because it's about community building, because it's about shifting out of trading your time for money, and because it's a women's empowerment movement, and it's helping, level the playing field. It's not a discriminator against, your education or your socioeconomic status or where you live necessarily. And that this is really helping people to step up in incredible ways on every single level. So I recommend that you be asking people if they're open to looking at an opportunity, or if they're open to evaluating something. Make an appointment with them. Show them the presentation, or watch a video with them about the presentation, and then get them on the phone with your upline. So we have 5 steps that we identified. Call people, make an appointment, show them the presentation, do a 3-way call, do a welcome call, and do a launch call. If you can follow those 5 steps to the best degree as possible, you're going to be creating a duplicatable system. The worst possible thing, you remember your goal when you sit down with a meeting with somebody, is that they walk away from the meeting saying, I can do that. Okay? And if you wow people with your extensive knowledge of the endocannabinoid system and nano-emulsified liposomal delivery, and they might walk away saying, wow, you're a genius and you know a lot, but they're not going to walk away and say, I can do that. And that's your goal for the meeting. So those are my tidbits. I appreciate you all, and hope to soak up some information here that I can share with you guys. And I just want to put in a plug for Dallas. If you're coming to Dallas, awesome. As you're talking with people in the next 72 hours, let people know that we have a massive regional training in Dallas. If you enroll somebody on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday, they could buy a ticket and show up at this event. I've done that for every single event we've done. I've had people very last minute show up. If you have people that show up to this event, they will get started with a fire and a passion and enthusiasm that you can't imagine from having not been there, you know? So, all right, that's it. Love you guys. Bye.
Awesome, Joanne. Thank you. Triple Diamond, Joanne Reese, rocking it. That was an epic download. So again, what we're gonna do, and welcome those of you jumped on. Hi Mariah, hi Karen, hi Rebecca. Good to see you, gorgeous ladies. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna really give this be an opportunity for everybody who wants to and everybody who we can get in the next 45 minutes to share your takeaways, to share your golden nuggets, to share the impact that you're getting out of these first 4 chapters of the book. And or if you read something and you have a question, you're not really sure about something, you need a little coaching, a little support around that, you could bring that too. But really the idea is like when we all share like that, right, that's so good. Of course I read the book, but just then hearing those things that Joanne said, I'm like, yeah, that's it. So really just here to support each other and integrating this and implementing this into our action, into our business. So I will just open up the floor. I've got everybody on mute, so you can unmute yourself and share. If you have any trouble unmuting, just raise your hand or whatever, let me know and I can help with that. So the floor is open.
Kiana, I'd love to share.
Yeah, hi Laura.
Hi everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I just want to piggyback on what Joanne said, and then I would love to get input from the group about one thing that I read, you know, as we go, see what people thought. So I was reading chapters 1 through 4 and realizing some mistakes I'd been making. And one Joanne mentioned, which was I had been focusing on my success story with the product. And I talk about the business model too, but I'm really going to shift that more to really leading with my 45 seconds. The author claims 45 seconds is what we should target. 45-second story about what this business has done for me, what I'm excited about. So that's one huge takeaway. The question I have for everybody is this 80% thing. 80% of time, I read this like 3 times to make sure I understood it. 80% of time should be spent prospecting or working with newbies defined as people in their first month. And 10% with experienced team members and 10% on your own personal growth and development. My numbers are nowhere near that split. So I've been looking this week at how I can get closer to those numbers. I'm still like scratching my head. Like, how do we only do 10% with our experienced team? And am I just making up a story that this industry and this product and whatever needs more attention with other people? Or they need me, or I'm just wondering if I have a story running in my head about being needed more than I really am. Have I really equipped people enough to take off and go after their first month? So I'm just looking at all that, and I'd love input from other people, especially people like you, Kiana, who've been around longer than I have had some deep team building success, what your take on that is. So love this book, love. And like you said, Kiana, it's like my new favorite book. I'm recommending it to my whole team. Absolutely. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much part of like my getting started process now with new affiliates, is either getting them the book or the link so that they can start listening and dive in. And yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, right? I'm not there either. You know, in my own process, I definitely went through a phase in my business in the beginning in the building where I was building, and I probably was at one point spending 80% of my time with my team, 3-way calls and you know, overview calls and all of those things. Like, I was spending so much time. I did make a big shift in that. I did make a big shift in having to push the power down and really empower and train and support my team members to be in their leadership. Because I recognized very quickly that I couldn't maintain what I was doing. I mean, I was spending 6 to 8 hours on the phone a day, and it was almost all 3-way calls or welcome calls or, you know, doing that, like not me talking to other people. So I'm in that same boat where it is just like having to refocus and rededicate. And, you know, for me, it's just like, I mean, I just having to show up to that every day. Okay, where's my list? Who have I reached out to? Who do I need to contact? Have I made 5 new reach outs? Have I followed up with 3 people today? Let me check in with 2 of my affiliates to see where they're at. Right? I think that's a great rule. It's somewhere else in the book. She talks about the 5-3-2, 5 new reach outs, 3 prospect follow-ups, and 2 affiliate like team member check-ins or shout-outs to keep that going, right? And it makes sense, right? It's the lifeline of our business, and you know, I'm in a place in my business right now too where I feel like I'm totally building from scratch. I'm totally building from the beginning. I'm not going to build the business that I want if I just try to call everybody and take care of everybody that's on the team. I have to get out and talk to new people. I have to get out and connect with new people, right? And then when those new people, they do come in, really giving them that time and attention in those first 30 days so that they have that solid start. But, you know, for me, I think the process that we have, the system that we have with the virtual latte and getting people to do a business plan, and Laura, you probably have access to this. I have all this in my Team Hempress Facebook group.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, so, you know, going through that where you can really kind of help people create that 30-day plan and setting that kind of intention with them in the beginning of like, I'm here with you for the run, but these first 30 days, I'm here to make sure that you have everything you need so we can get a foundation so you can feel good moving forward. I mean, if anybody else has anything to say about that, you know, I totally would love to hear it, but I think if anything, if we get it in our mind first, right? We just have to get it in our mind that our lifeblood of this business is talking to people. It is bringing people and it is training our brand new people. It's not management of the existing team and the extended downline. And it's challenging, I think, especially even as women, it's challenging for us. We lean towards that caretaker mama kind of nurturing instinct, but we have to remember that we're here as businesswomen. We're here as CEOs, and that's the action that we have to be taking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, Kiana.
Yeah.
So I guess I've transferred the talking once a week, having a weekly check-in to not like necessarily new people, but all of my affiliates. So like not all of them, but the ones that are engaged, but people that have been in the business for like a year and a half, 2 years, I'm still having like a half hour to 45-minute check-in with them once a week. That's not good. No, not good. But it feels like if I don't do that, are they going to fall away? You know what I mean? Like that.
And if they fall away, then they're not really in it in the first place. And why are you wasting your time? Because they're not really committed to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 45 minutes you could be spending recruiting somebody who is going to be your next big rock star.
So how do you keep in touch then with your team? Do you just have them, call you when they have questions, but not have like a regular thing like that?
Well, like I was just saying, like the 5-3-2, like on a daily basis, there's still like 2 touch-ins. Mm-hmm. You still touch in with your people, but I mean, it should be a touch. It should be like you sent a text or you got on the phone for 5 minutes, right? I think if you're giving them that much time, attention, and coaching on that, at that level on a regular basis, and they're not producing, then that's part of the imbalance, right? They're going to rise to their leadership when they realize that it's up to them to rise to their leadership. I think it can be easy to think like, oh, I'm doing what I need to do in my business because I'm talking to my sponsor every week.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But are they actually doing what they need to be doing in their business?
Yeah.
I just had a thought pop into my head. Has anybody tried having like maybe a half-hour Zoom for all your experienced team that can meet weekly or every other week just as a gathering, half hour for everybody, and you set the expectation with your newbies that after 30 days you're going to graduate into this group, and then you're spending half an hour with everybody experienced a week. Yeah. I don't know. Has anybody tried anything like that?
I love that. I'm actually not currently doing something like that because for whatever reason it just stopped working with my team.
Okay.
Stopped showing up. But that's how I ran my business in the beginning. I did a weekly or a biweekly. I didn't just do a 30-minute. I would usually be an hour. But I had a weekly group coaching, or like my team coaching, team check-in. So there was a place to check in, to plug in, to get that touch every week. But and it's better. Obviously, it's way better to do it in a group format. I personally went away from that because I stopped having people show up, and I transitioned to doing stuff on Facebook Live. I just started doing a weekly coaching on Facebook Live, and a place for people to be able to check in. And then even you guys have noticed, if you're paying attention, I'm not doing that this year, at least not now, because we're doing this. Like I'm giving like a focused format, like here's where you can come and show up and interact with me on a regular basis.
Kiana?
Can
I share, Levy?
Please, yes.
Because you guys are speaking, what you're saying is so true. I'm the best example of that, as you know, Levy. I'm Kiana's auntie, and I've been in this business for a couple of years, have been, using the oil, sharing it, not making it my business. And reading this book, everything, learning to balance life. As Kiana knows, chaotic, huge family life that I get myself caught up in and kind of verge away from my business. Making people show up. If I'm not vested in this by showing up, as little investing as that actually is, she's wasting her time reaching out and continuing to speak to me. You're my niece, and you don't reach out to me any differently than you do anybody else. You're making me show up, and I'm showing up in different ways. And this book is fabulous, and I learned so much. And even if this is your first call, I missed the other call, but I watched it, and God, did that not hit home in 1,000 different ways. This is awesome. So make people show up, and that's part of it. And those who don't, some will, some won't. So what? Keep moving on. Because when we do show up, man, you're dealing with different people. So she would have wasted her time with me prior. So anyhow, I'm done. Love you.
Thank you. I love you. I love it when you show up. Sweet. Any other thoughts or feedback on that, or anyone else who just want to share your nuggets from reading the book?
Me personally?
Anybody? Do you want to share?
I'll let everybody else share. I get a lot of everyone sharing. So, and if anyone doesn't, I'll finish up at the end.
Okay. Who's next? And by the way, I'm not getting down with rosé in the middle of the afternoon. This is my Harmless Harvest coconut water. That's how Kiki rolls.
Hey, I wanted to ask a question. Hi, everybody. Hi, super excited about this book. Yes, I got it on audio about like a month and a half ago, and I was just like, oh, yes. So lovely to be able to engage in it with a group and get deeper into it. So I have a question, because as of recently, I've kind of dived into doing a lot on Instagram, and a lot of leads coming my way that I don't have any personal relationship with. A lot of my work's on social media, but Instagram has been, moving really pretty quickly for me, and I'm just starting. So couple questions on that, I guess. One, is there, does anyone have an organizational tool, a particular thing that they like, a website or an app or something that's helping to organize contacts and when was spoken outside of our particular app, which is great as well, but I'd like to be able to work it on the computer. It's easier for me. So that's one question. And the other question is, in the progression, right? This is so much about relationship, and when we have a relationship with somebody first, then they're going to get back to us in a different way, or they feel more of this personal, well, I should get back to this person. And I'm kind of trying to figure out the steps. So if, right now an automated email goes out, are you interested? The person writes back, yes. Then I have an email that I'm sending that, or I message them and say, great. What's your email? I can give you some information. And then I'm emailing them a letter with a link to the presentation. And it's somewhere and I have a voice going on. It seems like most people prefer the email first, but then there's none of that like person to person. So I'm trying to, and like, getting into the hot spots. So I guess my question is like, does anyone have any visions of creative ways to kind of have the conversation be first with people that we don't have any personal connection with?
Awesome. So I haven't built on social media. I didn't build on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a great answer for that. Are you coming to Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing in April?
I have a wedding that weekend, so I can't.
That would be a great place.
Yeah.
I think you probably have to really look outside of the company for things like that, and what's going to work there. Yeah, I'm just not really sure on that. And I'm glad you asked the question, but I want to also just reframe that this circle is really to share our nuggets from the book and not just have it be a total business open Q&A.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would just look out there and see what other people are doing. But I mean, I haven't built that way. We haven't been trained in the company to build that way. I'm sure there people are. I know there people are, but I don't have a good answer for you other than that. Yeah, thanks
Awesome.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who else wants to share your nuggets, your big takeaways, aha moments from chapters 1 through 4?
Hey, Kiana, I'll share.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hi. So just like Karen was saying, I've done the same thing of having this be like very much a thing on the side, and in some ways understandably because of my other job and my kids and everything, but I'm definitely ready to shift that. And one thing that I really appreciated when she was talking about your story and kind of outlining your story, because I like that she said what to do and what not to do. The what not to do's of like, I've been using this product for 2 years and, finally decided to have my business. So I really appreciated those because I am kind of in that position of like, I have used the product. That's how I got into this. And, I've had some on the side success for sure. But, also what Laura said of like shifting that focus on the business and introducing the business and not coming into it as this is the best product ever, but, seeing it and transmitting it as that business opportunity. So I'm doing more and more of that, and it's feeling better.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so important. I feel like it's a shift for me too, and really leading with that in my story, right? Even in my story, like I was leading with like, oh, the oil did this for me, and then the business did this for me, right?
Right. Yeah.
And we'll get there. I think it's in the next section. I think it's in chapter 5. If you haven't gotten there yet, she really talks about like basically the order of operations, right? Like start with the business,
right, yeah,
then go to referrals, then go to product, right?
Yeah.
Moving people through that funnel, through that steps, and it makes perfect sense, right? If somebody like, hey, I got hemp oil, someone's like not interested, then like, hey, but do you want to hear about this business? Like
exactly. Yeah, this is actually my 3rd time through the book, so it's really good. But and she also had something in there about like, well, what if you get a late start? What if you're now just ramping up after doing it for a while? And I just appreciate her saying like, be honest, and be honest about your own effort in it and what that outcome has been and what you want to do with it now, and using other people's stories as well. So that was important for me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Totally, that being honest, it's like, hey, you know what? I've been in it, but I wasn't really doing it. Now I'm ready to do it. This is what I'm looking for. Sweet. Very, very good. Right. Who else got a golden nugget? Some takeaways that were impactful for you?
Yeah, and I haven't said anything because I just got the book today and I'm very excited to start reading. I love to read, but I just don't read. So I'm very excited to join this group because it's going to make me sit and commit to reading 4 chapters a week. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Mimi. Glad to have you here. You're going to love it. It really is. I mean, it's seriously some of the most outstanding, straightforward, practical, inspiring training on like how to do this business. And I've looked at a lot of stuff in the last few years. Who else?
If people aren't here, haven't been here yet, would you could they still come in?
Yeah, they could jump in. I mean, I would have to make sure they're read up. I know we're gonna focus on like the 4 chapters each week, but if people want to still jump in, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of an open circle than like a tight mastermind circle. I love those too, but I decided this wasn't the place for that. leave it more flowing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm sort of stopped at the story, like I really need to dig deep and find out like what that actually is and be honest about it instead of just like this sort of like, oh yeah, it's been great. And you know what I mean? Because, for people to have a story about the business, I'm not talking about myself specifically, but who haven't yet had like a ton of success in the business, is it all about what they're excited about kind of, and what they see happening in the future?
Yeah, totally. Like, hey, I found something that I'm really excited about. It's this opportunity for community business building, right? Joanne had a bunch of great nuggets that this is my cat, by the way. This is Minwi. She's into being with me a lot these days, which is super cute. She's actually not even my cat. She's my roomie's cat. She's in here saying hi. Yeah, it's just about, it's about framing what's exciting, right? Like what got them excited or what they're most excited about or hopeful for, where their vision is, and getting so that you just have that first touch to create curiosity, create interest, and move people deeper into the conversation, right? Like if you meet someone and they're like, they're claiming some big stuff, like I'm super excited about this new community that I've joined, that we're all about, financial freedom and personal empowerment, and I've got a plan to be able to quit my full-time job and that's an interesting story, right? They didn't say that they have accomplished anything yet, but they're claiming what they want, and that's enough to go, oh, wow, that's cool. Tell me more. What's up with that, right?
And is that before you ask them if they're open to evaluating something?
Yeah, this is like introduction. Like this is like when you're first meeting somebody and you're first striking up conversations.
And they're like, what are you up to? Or what's new with you or something?
Yeah.
Go into that.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing I'm going to really encourage everybody, and I'm reminding myself, is like stop and do the homework, right? Don't just read through this. Stop and do the homework. Like I just was sitting here before this and writing my why, answering the questions from chapter 2, right? I still need to really sit down and write my story. Like, let me refine my story. Like, so let's all be good examples of that being coachable, right? And doing the work so that when we are sharing this with our team members, we can have that same expectation from them, because it is a practice, right? We don't just read the book and we don't even just show up to these Zooms and then like things work. Like we have to do it. We have to implement it.
I like how she was saying to make it a team event or a team experience to help each other fine-tune stories.
Yeah,
and
that's what
develop the whole library of stories that you can share that make sense for your prospect.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Making that library, I haven't tackled that myself yet. I know Melissa Held has done that with her team. She's got a group where she's been kind of collecting stories and finalizing that. But yeah, absolutely, right? And that's what Joanne is doing with her Monday coaching call is, right? It's a place where people are coming and being able to be like, okay, here's my story, right? Like, let me share what I'm working on, and getting feedback on that and refining it, because these are the things. And having multiple stories, right? Having a different story to share with different types of people, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking to a mom versus talking to a business person, right? Like, you probably have a different story that you're leading with to get their interest. So spending the time to craft that is valuable time for your business.
I just wanted to share one other thing. I've taken to getting Kindle books. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh,
It allows you to highlight electronically things that are important to you. And I like that, because when I go back in 6 months and read the whole thing again, different things will be important to me at that time. And so I just wanted to share that. But one thing I was just looking at that I highlight: rewire your brain so that not taking action is extremely painful, and taking action lights you up inside. That was a huge nugget for me.
Me too. I just reread that before. I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, it is so painful when I'm not doing my business. Like, what?
Yeah.
Get back in your pleasure, girlfriend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. That's great. Who else has got to share? Got a nugget, got a takeaway?
I'll say something. I like how she says that we're basically paid storytellers, which is along the line of what we were just talking about. And there has to be some emotion that gets it's fact wrapped in emotion. So we're all very emotional people. So yeah, like describing that, you know, we want to be financially free so we can do this and this for our kids, or just something that gets people that they can relate to. And I love that this book is not sugarcoating this business that we're in. I mean, it makes it really real. I mean, it's serious. We have to get out there and get out of our comfort zone. And I think she said we have to have 2 people new a month just to keep things rolling. Or else we're falling behind. So you can't just really sit back ever, I don't think.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's like right on the first page, first page of the first chapter, like, it's like, it's not easy, it's hard, really hard, right? It's like right there. You know, maybe like if someone's brand new and reading this for the first time, they're like, oh shit. But,
yeah, it made me feel better that it is hard, and she acknowledges that.
Yeah, right? Like, we can do it with ease, and we can do it with grace, and we can make it pleasurable. Yeah, you're not allowed on my desk. Not allowed. I know. But it's hard. Like, what we're doing is monumental. It takes a lot of effort. I know this cat is wild, you guys. She's so wild lately. Let's be about everything. Thank you, Pippi. Awesome. Huh. No, Michelle, it's not easy to run your own business. I know. Imagine that. All right, lovelies. We got about 15 minutes left. Anyone else want to share some nuggets, share some takeaways? I just noticed that it's shifted now, Rebecca, but your screen was frozen for a minute, but it was so cute because it was frozen on the biggest smile ever. You're like, I was like, look how happy Rebecca is. And then I looked back, I was like, oh, she's still really happy.
That's awesome. Well, good. I'm glad it was that, not like. That's great. Hey, Kiana, so a question for you or anybody else who's like mile deep in keeping track of prospects. I'm curious what systems you use to kind of keep track of that 5, 3, 2 every day, and like how, when you're supposed to get back to people, and you know, I'm trying to figure out a system of organization for all of that.
Wow. believe it or not, I don't have like one set fantastic system on this myself. You know, I make lots of lists. It's not a master list. I mean, she talks about she has a Word doc, right? She just has like one Word doc that she uses, and that's her master list. At one point, I had used like a spreadsheet, but you know, even though everybody says I'm the systems girl, like I actually have a pretty terrible system. You know, I write notes. I do use the high achiever playbook. And so a lot of times, like from week to week, I kind of will like write who I'm talking to and like reminding myself who I need to follow up on. But that was something, was just looking at this, I was like, you know, it might be time to really buckle down and put it all in one place. Again, I'm just calling myself out, haven't been great, but in the High Achievers Playbook, there is a master list. There's like the little insert notebook in there, because I do like to write things down, and I was really using that for a while at one point, but it doesn't have a lot of space for really keeping track of like, oh, I called them here, I called them there. But that would kind of be my like, okay, I need some new people to talk to. Let me go through my master list. Like, who have I not called or talked to in a while? I think that's probably been my most consistent system, is using the High Achievers Playbook and just kind of writing names down from like, because I use the annual playbook and it has the weekly calendar, and so kind of writing my names down from week to week, who I'm talking to. Yeah.
I have something I found that I really like. It's called Teamsy. And it's cool because like every time you connect with them, you can put in, you know, how you connected with them, and then right then you can say when you want to follow up with them, and you can say like 2 days, a week, and so every day you check, you know, it'll like come up with who you're supposed to follow up with that day. And then it also has like daily goals. So you put in how much you want to make a month or a year, and it'll say how many people you need to connect with each day, prospects, affiliates, customers. And so it's really fun just to like make all the check marks like complete. And it's like, you're 90% there, you know? And so I really like that.
That's awesome.
Every time I meet someone or get a new referral or anything like that, I put them in as a prospect, and then you can switch them over like customer and then switch them over to an affiliate. So it's like, but I also need to have like a visual of people's names, because I forget like who to look for, because you have to kind of look them up. So then I have just a piece of paper or like sticky notes of like my hot people that I want to keep their name like in the forefront of my mind and be thinking about them. So I have them like out to know, like, you know, because they're important to think about often.
Awesome.
So.
Will you put that in the chat, what it's called? Is it a Teamsy?
It's with a Y, Teamsy. Just teamsy.com. It is $30 a month, but it's free for the first 30 days, so you can like try it out and stuff like that.
And you can access it on your computer and on an app on your phone?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What I would suggest not doing is it has you like import all of your Facebook contacts into there, and I did that, and now I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to like prospect all my Facebook contacts. So I would just put it in one by one, like whoever you are actually prospecting, because I got to go back and take them all out because they, you know, come up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to them, you know. So don't do that. It'll tell you to do that, and just do one by one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah. All right. Anyone else got to share? Susan, Sarah, Michelle, Jody. Oh, Sarah, how do you say your last name, sweetheart? Caracciolo? Caracciolo. Beautiful.
Caracciolo, yeah.
Caracciolo.
I popped on late. I've listened to the book, but I just popped on late, and I just wanted to really just connect. I feel like sometimes I can just do this alone, and I feel like there are so many teams within PMB. So I just wanted to pop on here and hear voices and connect with you guys. So thanks for calling me out.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, do you have any, maybe you're not, chapters 1 through 4, which is like your why, your story, your list, do you have any takeaways from the book that have been impactful for you?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got triggered by her. And so like after chapter 2, I was like, oh my God, I just need to take a break from this for a hot second. And I think I got triggered. Yeah, so I think I really like her, and I just need to, get over my trigger. It was kind of about like, for some reason I have this really funny story that like if you come from corporate and you already have like a pretty successful history as far as like your story, then it's easier for you to build a business and make money when you've already had that in your prior work history. So I think a part of me was like, well, it's easy for her because hers had already been successful and like da 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 da. So I think I just need to coach myself around that.
Awesome. Well, that was a great awareness. Totally great awareness. And I think what you're saying maybe has some truth in it, right? When somebody's created success in one avenue, it often can be translated over to another area. But I really believe what she's laying out is like totally the simple system that anybody can use to create success. And I've seen that in my team. I think she's, said that in her team, right? Like that people can plug into what's here. It doesn't matter what you've ever accomplished in your life, and use it and succeed with it. So yeah, I would encourage you to keep going. Give yourself whatever love you need on that and keep going.
Awesome. Yeah, I will. Thanks, Kiana.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also just coming up right now is like, also look for the places in which you've already created success. Because it can be easy to say, oh, I haven't done that. I haven't been successful before. But I bet you've created success somewhere, somehow, doing something. And you can use that to leverage and create success here.
Yeah, thanks. I love that.
Yeah.
Good point.
Who else? Coming to the end. Shakti, Michelle, or Susan, or sorry, I forgot who was on the phone. 720 area code. Maddie.
I'm actually just getting started on the book. Sarah knows I'm drowning in website work, and I've missed my PMB community so much, but I have no choice. So I'm just plowing through this workload for the month of March, and hopefully April I'll be able to breathe again and see everyone. But I am listening to the book, and I wanted to hop on today. So thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to have you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Well, if no one's going to talk, I'll jump in.
Yeah, give us what you got, Karen.
Because I think a big part of the takeaway for me too was, if I'm not talking about my business is closed.
Mm-hmm.
And having run very successful retail stores, that really kind of hit me right between the eyes. And it's the absolute truth. I've not. A closed mouth never gets fed. That's something that in my family I did learn. So it's very easily to correlate the two. So I've learned that unless I'm talking about it, I'm not going to get it. And a part of this whole group too is about having our story, speaking out, claiming it, wanting it, chasing it, being hungry for it, wanting it, and its timing. And its time is right. So I'm claiming it. I've got a lot out of this book. I think this is going to be a great journey, and I'm totally excited. And thank you, Libby, for putting this on. So
awesome.
Invest our time wisely, girls. All of us, men too. Just really invest and to really invest in our business. It's taking it to the next level. So I'm seeing it differently, and I'm excited. So cheers.
Cheers. I love that. If you're not talking about your business, it's closed. We don't want to be closed for business. We want to be making money. Making some money. All right. We got one last one. All right, I'll go ahead and close the meeting then. So thank you all for being here. We have chapters 5 through 8 next week. We'll be covering them. Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then again, we'll do the Tuesday call at 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Pacific. If you have team members that are not here, encourage them to get the book, send them the link to the audio. They can start listening for free. I do really encourage people getting the physical copy. It is really nice to be able to reference things, or the digital, be able to highlight, to reference things. I listened to it all first on audio, and then I was like, I need the book. So I went back and got the book. So yeah, bring your people, have them jump in. It's fine if they weren't here this week, have them catch up if they can, and be in this. And again, really practicing and implementing it so we can rock our businesses. All right, lovies. See you soon. Have a great day.
Thanks, Kiana.
Thank you.
Bye.